Lecce recently announced extra funding for Italian language classes in the York Catholic District School Board. And he says it's important to him as the son of Italian immigrants, but I am also the son of an Italian immigrant, and I went to school in York Catholic, unlike Lecce. I didn't go to private school, and I also took Italian classes growing up, so why don't we talk about it? First of all, York Region Catholic Schools is not a thing, it's called the York Catholic District School Board, which is confusing because later in the tweet he thinks the York Region District School Board, which is the public school board. But can we talk about just how weird this is? Let's specifically look at Vaughan because that's where Woodbridge is, which has the highest concentration of Italians. As of 2021, approximately 10% of the Vaughan population has Italian as its mother tongue, with only 26.5% of the population being ethnically Italian. And many young Italians, such as myself, have left Vaughan because we just can't afford to live there anymore. And there are other places in Ontario that have significantly larger ethnic communities than Vaughan has for Italians. So why do Catholics in York Region get the special privilege of having Italian language classes in publicly funded schools? Especially when it's not even a majority of the population in those schools that actually have Italian heritage. The homogeneity of Italians in Vaughan is not as prevalent as you might think. If we take a look at an analysis done recently by a Redditor, we can see that the diversity score for Vaughan is actually quite high. According to this user, Vaughan actually being the 5th most diverse place in Ontario, with extremely high scores in ethnic diversity, linguistic diversity, and religious diversity. But instead of funding our schools properly, instead of making sure that we have smaller class sizes, instead of making sure that we have enough EAs in our classrooms, this is what Lecce chooses to be important to him. And I get it. People can focus on more than one thing at a time. But I am saying this as somebody who was privileged enough to grow up in Woodbridge at a time where it was mostly Italians, and I went to a Catholic school and I had Italian classes. Those Italian classes are arguably kind of useless. You learn about colors and shapes and months and holidays and like how to conjugate 3 irregular verbs, and that's kind of it. So my question is, if we have this in Woodbridge for Italians, why don't we have this in other cities for other cultures? We know the answer to that question, because we know what the public backlash would be if we started using public tax dollars to fund Arabic culture and language classes in our public schools. I don't know, maybe I'm overreacting. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below.